Despite being bound to something that is slowly killing them, most men are blissfully unaware of it. Before they even realize it, they've given up their power when they wake up, go through the motions, and swipe through their phone. Isn't it merely habitual? A little tension reduction, nothing more than a fast release. But what if I told you that doing it regularly makes you less appealing to women, weaker, and more anxious? Imagine if I told you that this particular habit is the root cause of your feelings of being uninspired, trapped, and unnoticed in your own life. It has already been validated by science. You can't develop into the man you were destined to be while masturbating because it rewires your brain and kills your motivation. Continue on if you still have doubts. You will never perceive things in the same light again once you comprehend the harsh reality. 1. The devastating effect of masturbating on one's sexual attraction. The majority of males are unaware of this secret. The moment a man starts to give away too much of his authority, women can feel it. They sense your lack of motivation, presence, and enthusiasm, even if they can't put their finger on what it is. Women, on the other side, pick up on guys who are clinging to their vitality. His unwavering presence, commanding posture, and intense stare all hit them hard. However, the most terrifying aspect? All of that is being stealthily taken from you by masturbation. Let's dissect it. 2. Research into the mechanisms of arousal and sexual motivation. There is an invisible force that all men possess, an aura, that can attract or turn off potential suitors. A man's charisma, dominance, and attractiveness come from his life force energy, which is depleted when he masturbates frequently. For as long as a week following ejaculation, testosterone levels in men fall sharply, according to research. Plus, testosterone isn't solely associated with aggressiveness or bulking up. It's the hormone that makes you feel strong, confident, attractive, and willing to take risks. You walk differently when your testosterone levels are high. With an air of self-confidence, you meet everyone's gaze. You never hesitate to speak your mind. You do it with conviction. As a matter of instinct, women notice this. This is a truly biological phenomenon. Their biology makes them gravitate toward dominant males. Consider the inverse now. Think of a man whose day wouldn't be complete without seeing porn for yet another time. He appears to be concealing something. He slouches, has lifeless eyes, and exudes a lack of enthusiasm. Who do you think women have an innate attraction to more, men or women? Very much so. Consider the most important men in history, the ones who led, innovated, and conquered. Is it your belief that they were idly staring at screens in dimly lit rooms, squandering their energy on pointless pleasure? The quantity. Empires were being built, nations were being led, and the most desirable women were being won over with all that energy. And it is essential for you to comprehend that. You are wasting your power to dominate your own universe with every release. Men whose vitality they keep up get more incisive. Decisions are better made by them. In discussions, they take center stage. Their every step is deliberate. On the other hand, men who are always depleting themselves eventually stop doing anything. Their heart quivers. The individual ruminates excessively. For women, they vanish into thin air, a change in authority. Everything changes when you stop moving. You may have noticed that ladies view you differently after you refrain from masturbating for a period of time. It's not a hoax. This is not an accident. It's because you exude the confidence and self-assuredness that other men seek. Your presence transforms when you maintain your energy. You gain determination, self-confidence, and sharpness of mind. When you start to attract women on your own, you stop caring about chasing after them. When you realize how valuable you are, you will no longer put other people on a pedestal. And paradoxically, it's because of that women begin to pursue you. Simply put, you've changed. Rest assured, You are more than just another male seeking approval. You are a guy with a purpose, and it's the most seductive thing ever. 2. Masturbation's unseen psychological toll. After doing it, there's a reason you'll feel depleted, feeling emotionally and psychologically exhausted, as if a part of you has vanished. Not merely shame, nor is it merely guilt. Something more subtle is at work here, a gradual dwindling of your authority. Nothing in society will tell you this. In fact, they will likely promote it. As long as it's a healthy way to let off steam, they'll insist it's perfectly normal. Still, allow me to be honest for a moment. Wow, I feel like a stronger man now. When was the last time you did something and thought that to yourself? Very much so. Why? Because this is something people skip over. A physical act is only one aspect of masturbation. A mental trap it is. An unseen foe that erodes your will, self-assurance, and power to succeed. Let's dissect it. To thrive, your brain needs rewards. No matter how small the achievement, whether it's at work, in the gym, or even just making a woman giggle, your brain releases a rush of dopamine as a reward. Drive, ambition, and concentration are all fueled by this neurochemical. But things become risky now. You can fool yourself into thinking you've won without actually winning when you masturbate. There is no distinction between actually earning something and just pretending to have it. We did it. We won. We got the girl. That's what goes through your head as you turn off porn and walk away, despite the fact that in actuality you were inactive, and with that, your aspirations fade away. A tolerance for low-cost dopamine develops in the brain with repeated practice. Your brain starts to crave the shortcut instead of working toward real-life benefits. When you can obtain the same dopamine thrill with the press of a button, why bother working for anything? However, there is a catch. Every time it's different. As time goes on, your brain changes. The things that used to make you feel good now hardly have any effect. You seek out more extreme information, engage in longer sessions, and engage in riskier activity. While this is going on, you're unconsciously losing your edge, your energy is dwindling, and your real-life motivation is dwindling. Have you ever noticed a change in your mood after skipping it for a few days? Feeling more energized, certain, and focused? That's because your body is clinging to your vital energy, which most men discard every day. Warriors, monarchs, and thinkers of old knew this. Semen was more than simply fluid. It was power, and they knew it. Something that, when preserved, made males more powerful, domineering, and sharp. This has the support of modern science. An increase in testosterone, a deepening of the voice, and a tightening of the eyes are all symptoms of retention. Men appreciate it. Women take note. A shift occurs in your demeanor, speech pattern, and way of thinking. Why? Simply said, your power is now not dripping out. Afterwards, they bemoan the fact that they are exhausted, uninspired, and unnoticed by women, all because they squander this vitality. But that energy doesn't go away when you hold on to it. Rather, it is channeled into all your endeavors. Your exercises get more intense, your concentration gets laser-like, and others can't help but be drawn to you. In an instant, you transform from a faceless bystander into an attention-getter. Something more profound is at work here. Something that goes beyond the physical and mental realms and into your soul. Some part of you always knows it's bad when you give in. The reason is not societal pressure or an outmoded moral code. Rather, it is the exhaustion of your inner warrior. The effects of masturbation are detrimental to both your physical and mental health. It teaches you to be a spectator in life instead of a competitor, to chase after pleasure instead of power, and to avoid reality instead of embracing it. That is the high road ahead, for settling for mediocrity becomes second nature the more you cave, to settle for a life that falls short of your potential. And eventually, You will be nothing more than a shell of the man you once were if you continue down that path. The bright side, though, is that you are free to quit this very second rather than tomorrow or next week. Right now. You owe it to yourself to regain your power, not because someone told you to or because you're guilty. You know deep down that you were made for more than this. 3. The reasons behind your anxiety, depression, and weakness brought on by masturbation. Have you ever pondered the question of why you feel exhausted rather than fulfilled once you finish? Why is there this peculiar feeling of hollowness, as if something within you has been snatched away? There was a loss, and that's why. Influence in your hands. What motivates you? Your passion. Everyday habits can be the unsung hero when it comes to explaining why you're feeling worried, unproductive, or even depressed. Science has previously proven the connection between porn, masturbation, and depression. Rewiring your brain in an undesirable manner is a consequence of excessive masturbation. Presented below is the process. When you view porn, dopamine floods your brain. When your dopamine receptors are weaker with age, you start to lose interest in things that used to bring you joy. Your senses become dull, disoriented, and unattached from the world around you. Because of this, there is no longer any sense of excitement. Concentration is a challenge for you. Things that previously inspired you no longer hold any sway over you. Feelings come and go, and you can't help but feel like you're always running after them. Now, for the most unfortunate aspect, your joy is being snatched from you by this vicious loop. Being weak is a result. The way masturbating diminishes your manhood. Warrior, philosopher, and emperor from antiquity all cautioned against energy waste for a cause. The value of a man's seed was not lost on them. It was who he was at his core. Your body receives a signal when you grasp onto it. It's battle mode for us. Our focus, aggression, and sharpness must be unwavering. However, your body will tell you that you have already won if you release continuously. Just chill out. Quit arguing. Conquering is unnecessary. The vulnerability becomes apparent at that point. Your motivation wanes. You feel a loss of self-assurance. You lose any motivation to take chances. Instead of being dominant, you become passive, hesitant instead of forceful. Somehow you can't put your finger on what's wrong. You learn to be a bystander in life through masturbation. I'll tell you the harsh reality. Sitting in front of a screen all day long, observing other people's pleasure, instead of making your own, trains you to be a bystander, not an active participant. Let that sink in. Sitting alone with your eyes fixed on a screen, directing your energy towards pixels, is more appealing than going out and chatting with actual women and making real connections. In the long run, this will make you less social. Instead of viewing them as human beings, you begin to view them as things. You feel uneasy, anxious, and uncertain while you're talking to new people. And even when you do encounter a woman in person, you're unable to really engage because your thoughts are clouded by fantasies. She disappears the second she detects your insecurity or lack of genuineness. The getaway that makes you sick. The majority of males who masturbate do not even recognize it is a coping method. Need a break? Get naked. Need a hand? Get naked. Feeling lonely? Get naked. Not feeling good about yourself? Get naked. They seek solace in pleasure rather than confront their difficulties head on. However, let me explain. Time is not on your side. The issues persist. They develop. You seem to be losing faith in yourself. Even now, your drive is fading. The world keeps getting smaller and smaller around you. Up until the day you come to terms with the fact that you've been evading your own reflection the entire time. Just the facts. Secretly, you were destined for greater things. It is obvious to you. This is not how your life should have unfolded. There was a better way for you to spend your time and energy than engrossed in a never-ending quest for virtual pleasures. at the expense of experiencing the actual world. You were destined to rule, to construct, to conquer. And it begins with a single, straightforward decision. Put an end to the power leak. All day, every day, ongoing, not temporary. I mean, just long enough to notice a change. Reason being, you can't turn back once you do. Your vitality will resurface. It will boost your self-assurance. A fire will be kindled within you to live again. Your sense of vitality will be restored, which has been absent for quite some time. Get more irresistible insights by subscribing to Stoic Guide if this hits you hard. You have a future waiting for you. Stop dragging your feet any longer.